They have a very stable support duo, not much flexibility on Tusk line. They are just going to take this world. Well, I say that maybe an off-lane Tusk, but it has been a while since we've seen that one. Much more stable to have it as just helping out the lanes, enabling that aggression. OB.Neon do go into the Dark Willow, so it looks like we are getting the core gyro. No games around here, no funky pause 5, pause 4 gyrocopters. They have really good hold on Neon's side, really good aggression to build up with a gyrocopter, with a Leshrac, with these two supports. Fnatic have a good answer to all of that control, though. Jug, if he sees the rotation in, as long as he's not immediately stunned up, he can just spin out. And the Juggernaut can kind of scale at the same pace the gyrocopter does. At some point, he becomes very reliant on his ultimate, but even then, once you have the Ag Shard and some good amount of damage, you can still contribute to team fights without that spell. So Fnatic has some pretty good responses to what OB.Neon wants to do. They don't quite have the same push potential on Fnatic's end, at least until the TA Desolator is up. But a Juggernaut can sustain a wave with the Healing Ward. That's the old school way of getting that done, the push with the Jug. And they can still kind of get these objective trades if they need to. So they've got stable win conditions, still leaning towards the TA, but the Jug can come online slightly earlier. The lane combinations with the Jug, Jug Tusk, Jug Line are both really scary. Once you have a couple of levels in the spin, Earth Spike Hex, or just the shards and the tag team can ensure the Juggernaut finds a couple of kills in his lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Final banouts though, Fnatic, OB.Neon, they are both kind of focusing on that off lane. Maybe the mid pickups here from Fnatic, but no, it's just mostly off lane. They just want anything that does well against the Jug to be removed. Razor, Beastmaster both do extremely well against the Juggernaut. Can still go for things like the Bristleback can do okay into the Jug. There are still options. Actually, Bristle wouldn't actually be too bad here for OB.Neon either. Does seem to work very well. Fnatic don't necessarily have the greatest counters. Maybe you don't really like the mana drain from the Lion. That can be a little bit annoying during the laning phase, but you can always go for the Soul Ring build up. What else, John? I mean, for OB.Neon in particular, they want to try and tie out this series. Do you see anything in particular that looks strong to you in the offlane against this Jug and Lion matchup?
I'm going to sound like a broken record. I'm going to say Sand King again.
Oh, John,
it's kind of odd that it's been ignored. I don't know. It feels like it just performs every single time. It's a melee matchup. Spin isn't up all the time, so you can still kind of harass him out with a Sandstorm, with a Burrow Strike, with a Caustic Finale if you want to go for that build. You can farm up a lot quicker there for Enryu. You can get a fast blink and travels, contribute around. It ties really nicely with your Nyx Assassin Dark Willow. It's so much control coming in, and it gives him a solid form of team fighting on core. You do still maybe need a blink initiating core to kind of set up for you, rip through the backline, which is really what you want. You want to prevent the Tusk to get some snowball saves. You want to prevent the Lion from getting good Earth Spikes off. Maybe even hunt down the TA. That can simplify the process. So I think the Sand King's probably the only big option left. A lot of the mid heroes have been banned out. I guess you have the option. No, Bat Rider was banned out, so you don't have a way of burning through the TA as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna say Sand King again. I've been saying that for the past 2 days. Might as well keep it up.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. If you keep saying it, John, eventually it's gonna pop up and you're gonna look like a genius. Fnatic, they could also go for the Sand King. You know, they do need the offlane there for death. Let's see what they do want. I mean, last game around Death, he played the Bloodseeker. It doesn't look quite as good this game than it did last game, but he could still go down the same route. Maybe just feeling confident on the hero. We did see him play Night Stalker last night, but no, he's gonna go for the Pango, which is kind of ironic considering what he did to the Pangolier last game with the Bloodseeker. And I would actually have a bit of a laugh if OB.Neon now went for the offlane Bloodseeker just to kind of return the favor. That doesn't do amazing. In fact, never mind that, because OB.Neon, they're going back into the Necrophos. Is it a CTM Necrophos?
Oh.
You bet your ass it is. They're bringing the POS 1 Necro out.
Yeah, he finally gets to play something he finds fun on CTM. Fnatic, they've still got that solid lineup. I think the Pango's a really great response to the Gyrocopter, the constant disarms, take away a lot of your DPS after the laning phase. So once the magic damage tapers off, you will want to right-click. Pango's going to prevent that. It gives you good team fight here. You've got a lot of balls rolling around in this game for Fnatic. They've got the Snowball and the Rolling Thunder. There's a lot to watch out for Neon in terms of that control. Necrophos pick, the Reaper's Sight. There is counterplay here on Fnatic. There's the snowball save. So if you see the sight coming out and Jabs is in position, he can just snowball and prevent that kill from coming out. That is something CTM is going to have to watch out for. I'm keen to see what Upaj does on the mid gyrocopter. It's been a while. It does pop up here and there, but it's been a while since we've seen it ourselves. I'm keen to see if he actually goes for that stat build you mentioned. I feel like if you're playing mid, if you want to play greedy, you've got a space making Necrophos and Leshrac to get the farm, to get the space for the gyrocopter to farm. You could afford to actually go stats there and just ignore the trades with the TA, keep building up, just burn her refractions with early rocket barrage and keep farming up. I think that could be one way to execute on Neon. Of course, they could still play fast. If you go with a standard build on the jar, you can still group up with your team, line up for mid, line up for the bot tier 1, and just take those early objectives to try to choke out Fnatic once more.
Absolutely. Should be an interesting game here. I think OB.Neon, last game around, we were kind of leaning perhaps towards Fnatic's draft. It just looked much cleaner. This game around, I've got to say OB.Neon, with these kind of drafts, they are a lot scarier. We've seen the CTM Necrophos. We've seen this mid gyrocopter before. John, do you agree? Do you think OB.Neon has the stronger draft going into game 2, or would you kind of lean back the way of Fnatic for game 2?
I'd hold it towards Neon. This draft fits what they do a lot more. It has earlier aggression. You don't need to farm as much. It's hard to bully out CTM on that Necrophos. Like, we've seen that time and time and again where they last pick this core in a matchup that looks like he's going to take something else, and then he just ends up taking control. Like, Necrophos versus Pangolier lane, it's not that bad. Like, you can dodge out a lot of the Pangos. Physical damage with the Ghost Shroud on the line. You're a ranged hero versus a melee. You can sustain yourself with Death Pulse. So it's going to be very tricky to stop CTM from just farming up and getting his level spikes. And that's the big issue. Once you have that Reaper's Sight up on CTM, he's just going to look for an easy kill. He's going to commit it. Doesn't care what target he goes for. And once he chops him down, he's just going to start building up.
Yeah, fair enough. Fnatic, they've got an early smoke going. They might try to get aggressive here with this task, and I suppose it's fairly stock standard when you've got that tag team up. Paj immediately giving the tip over to Death, and well, it looks like the romance is back, at least for now, between these two.
30 seconds.
We saw last game around, though, it didn't last very long. So they do tend to betray each other very, very quick if necessary. All for the sake of the team. Fnatic, unable to really find an opportunity to abuse that Tusk tag team right now. They do get a nice deep observer ward, though, in that dire jungle. That's going to allow Jabs to get a little bit more aggressive on the Tusk, as he can rotate between lanes now. Make his way over to the mid lane, keep tabs on who's farming that jungle, and you can expect your Paj to be there with the flat cannon. They are going to go for a nice impale onto DJ, and now the split earth's out, and that should be first blood going the way of OB.Neon. Januel, the one to take it there on the Dark Willow. Great start here for OB.Neon already.
And that's going to help Upaj run up to grab the bottle early on so he can sustain his mana spam. He does start with homing missile level 1. So it looks like he was just getting ready in case he needed the stun for the first blood. This can still sort of annoy Chuan. With the side blades up, can't really block the damage. The stun will just block you from getting some of those last hits as well, and Upaj can try to aim for those denies. Now, when it comes down to it, your right click as a gyro isn't great. You have very low base damage. Chuan can win out the right click trades, and Chuan can secure CS a bit easier, so you will have to watch that in Upaj until the levels and stats start coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if Upaj does go for that stat build up. Like, it does seem very, very powerful. He is playing mid gyro, so it may be a little bit different. He may opt to just go for the skill build up, and yeah, he's already going rocket barrage, so he's not going to bother trying to play that kind of farm heavy gyrocopter with that stat build up. You'd rather have all the magic damage with all the spells that you have, because he is going to still want to be aggressive with his team. He doesn't want to sit back and farm too long. Of course, over at the top lane, you have got a bit of a tri lane going right now. Fnatic, they do bring Raven up to the top lane on that jug, and you are also going to have Jabs and DJ around. You did have CTM on the Necrophos here, but he's left the building. He's going back down to the bot lane. They'll leave Januel up here on the Dark Willow, but I'm pretty sure Enryu's about to make his way over on the Leshrac, and he does. And that kind of goes back to the fact that the spin is going to be very annoying for CTM. That Ghost Shroud not going to keep you as protected as it once did. So they'd rather CTM just avoid Raven on the jug altogether.
Yeah, but Fnatic have done the musical lanes once more. They've already TP'd out Det, so back bot, DJ, they've got Raven around. Well, he was TPing in, and he is there. So CTM's going to have to contend with that lane. I think you're kind of fine. Just avoid the stuns like that. Make sure you don't get jumped by the line. And if you don't get hit by the spin, you're pretty okay. You can still CS fine on this Necrophos. You can still sustain yourself, the passive you have once you get some CS up. So it should be a relatively easy farming lane. It's a little bit more on Shanks to ensure the zoning's there. So it's Shanks' job to prevent DJ from finding that space to get the control, to enable that spin. And as long as he does that job, throws his body forward, CTM's fine here.
Yeah, certainly so. Shanks is going to be there anyway, just in case he needs it. CTM, he'll cut them off with that small pool and start farming himself. It's quite hard to really abuse a Necrophos anyway, even if you do have a bit of a counter. So you look at Jabs, he is making a rotation over again on the Tusk, so still wants to be effective with that tag team. He actually hasn't skilled anything up quite yet. He's got all the skill points ready to go. No skills available right now, but he is level 2, so he can go for the shards or the snowball. Pretty sure we can almost guarantee he is going to opt for the tag team at level 1 at least. There is no Ghost Shroud available right now for our Necros. This could be a very nice time to try and make that aggressive play against the Necrophos. Just whether Jabs can sneak his way in. It looks like he should be able to. They don't have any wards to scout this out, so Jabs will start running down now into CTM. They might opt for Shanks instead. He is the easier kill, but a nice impulse out. DJ, he might be the kill first, but no Raven. He does go for the spin. Shanks, he is going to drop. They might be able to trade very nicely now as Raven is so darn low, but that healing ward is going to leave him alive. The creeps, though, are going to chase him down, and this might be a bit of wasted time here for Raven. But he does save his own life. He still secures the kill there onto Shanks. Even gets a couple creeps to farm to boot. So he's a very happy man at the moment.
Yeah, they managed to make that commitment work. I think if you're on the side of OB.Neon, you're really not going to mind that. It frees up the top lane. You're getting a good time here for Enryu. He's laning against Tango. Oh.
Yeah, your Page ends up dropping. He tried to turn around with the Rocket Barrage, but Chuan, he gets a double kill now. Shanks, he tried to rotate to help out. Chuan has proved to be very effective on this TA today. Again, the hero might be considered a little bit broken in all fairness, John. You know, maybe the hero is just a little bit too strong right now, but Chuan, he's been doing a great job.
Yeah, he's been building up. The matchup has been really good for him. He's about double the CS of Yopaj. And that's the one thing when you go for the Rocket Barrage. I mean, you can still clear out camps, but it feels like Yopaj might be under pressure to try to play aggressively in the mid, and the rotations just don't line up. A Tusk can just be so much more disruptive than a Nyx can be, and Yopaj has to watch himself when he overcommits. Like, if the TPs come out in Fnatic, they're always going to be able to turn. He needs to play catch-up now. He's going to need some jungle stacks flying out. They haven't had the time on OB.Neon to build that up, and that just means our Gyrocopter will be off to a very slow start here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Yopaj could even farm the stacks though, John. He's gone for no points in Flat Cannon. He is going all out on the spell damage build, but he's probably going to need to make those big rotations up. Still top lane, Death, he's gone a bit too far in, past that tier 1 tower, but they won't really be able to punish the Pango. He'll get salved up there by Jabs and be just fine. I suppose the one saving grace right now for OB.Neon is the fact that CTM is still farming very effectively on the Necrophos. But that is about it right now for OB.Neon.
I don't know if the Necrophos farm will do enough.
Reaper Scythe committed. It's not quite enough, Raven. He's going to try and spin his way out. You still have the aura ticking Raven down, so he can't really heal up, but he's going to run the right way, and he will make it. They don't find him. Pings are there now from CTM, but nobody's around to try and secure the kill, so Raven's just fine.
And this is impacting his farm, though. He is lagging behind the CS, but he's still keeping up with Yopaj. So all things considered, and the Jug's not really completely bullied out. Should still have a decent timing into the defusal. And it's a very active Jug build we're seeing out of Raven. He understands he has to kind of play quick. CTM does have a 2-level lead, and that is worrying, but Reaper's Sight is such a long cooldown. He's not going to be able to do much for the next minute 10, unless someone plays a bit too aggressive and underestimates the damage from that Death Pulse.
Raven, they get the root, but he is going to be able to spin out of it, no problem. But it goes back to what you said. He's not able to farm in peace. But the thing is, you can kind of rely on Chuan to be that carry for the team anyway. And I think Raven, you pointed this out as well, but he is going to the Fusel Blade to kind of be more of a fighting jug almost. No real need to be that kind of heavy farming style jug this game. So you are going to have more than enough damage with this TA. I think even with his farm suffering, as long as Chuan has a good time, he's not going to mind too much. They're going to try and go after Chuan now, but he's going to trap in the mid lane. There's no way they can kill him. He'll be just fine to back off. Meanwhile, bottom lane, quite a few rotations coming in. They want to try and get CTM on this Necrophos. He doesn't have any points in the Ghost Shroud, so he's not that hard of a kill, and they will commit 4 heroes for this. But it is rather important, knowing how well CTM was farming, you've got to get rid of him at some point.
Yeah, and that just shapes up well for Fnatic. They get the kills they're looking for with this really aggressive support duo, even if it takes a lot of commitment. You're still taking out OB.Neon's best lane. You're slowing down their impact elsewhere. You're still keeping Yopaj in check down mid. Chan, you well?
Yeah. Shadowrealm's there. Gets stunned up. There's no real way out of this. He'll try, but Chuan's going to find another kill. Just bad news here for OB.Neon as it just doesn't get any better. And of course, Chuan, he's the last guy you want to give any extra gold to. He's already going to fluctuate with all these stacks being made for him. You'd rather not give him any more bonus gold if you can avoid it.
Yeah, it's just bad news overall, bro.
Gonna try and go in onto jabs, but he can just turn with his team. Yopaj, he's been trying to get aggressive here with Shanks. It just continues not to be very effective, though.
Yeah, and I think the bad thing about that fight was it was close enough to the tier 1 that Enryu can't fully commit for that push. He almost had the top tier 1. The gold injection would have been nice. The space it created, not so much. That tower's not really pivotal. Yopaj down mid again.
Yeah, Earth Spike right on the edge. They do get the brambles down. He might just make it out, and a nice impel there from Shanks is going to put an end to the gank that was happening. If they do get him out, it's going to force him to get salved up and maybe go back into the jungle here on that gyrocopter. But again, he doesn't really have flak. So the jungle not really going to be that kind of that peaceful area that Yopaj could just flash farm in on this gyrocopter. He's going to have to try and abuse the rocket barrage, but it's just nowhere near as effective.
Yeah, and he's going for a really interesting build in the gyro. He's going for a immediate force staff. So I guess he can push himself out of danger, save his teammates as well if need be, or reposition himself forward to get the rocket barrage chase off. We'll have to see if that will pay off. Like, it's not going to help his farm, so if he doesn't start finding kills with his force staff buildup, it will really impact his pacing. He's not going to be able to keep up with the TA. Chuan is almost at that nice timing for the Dragon Lance. He's got so much space in his jungle. No pressure coming out from OB.Neon.
Let's spike out again. Looks like they were trying to make sure that Chuan does get the power rune, but in the end, Yopaj, again, has Shanks around him pretty much 24/7. But Shanks has just been the bodyguard of Yopaj this game. And he does enable Yopaj in terms of getting that invis rune now on that gyrocopter. Can he get anything done with that invis? You know, that's a different question entirely, to be fair. He is going to pop it, though. Looks like he's going to try and find something for himself. Rotating into that Radiant jungle, but I'm just not sure what he's going to get. If you run into Raven, he's not going to die. He's got spin up. He's got Omni up. He'll be fine. Maybe mid lane, where they have started a fight. Rolling Thunder was committed by death, but it's not going to amount to much. It seems they are well aware that Yopaj was invis, and they do back off at the right moment. Eventually, it does just wear off anyway.
Yeah, it's a heavy committal mid now. Looks like they've got Enryu, so they're going to try to line up for the mid-tier 1 push. Fnatic still in position for the defense.
Nice shards out. They do end up catching out Shanks, but the tag team doesn't really reach. They'll get the urn. Spike Carapace not going to help him out as the Walrus Punch and the Swashbuckle comes in. I always enjoy that little combination with the tag team and the Swashbuckle. The Swash just getting every kind of bonus damage it can get from that tag team. And of course, Jabs has opted to max it out because it's just so much damage. Like right now, it's essentially a free Javelin for death, but it's guaranteed. It's 100% of the time.
Yeah, it's painful, and Fnatic don't have cooldowns to wait for, so they just keep going.
Big snowball. It's going to be very deep, though. Ghost Shroud is there, and this might be a mistake from Fnatic as they are going to get dived now. A lot of rotations in from OB.Neon. They will lose DJ. Death. He'll go for a Rolling Thunder. He should be able to get himself out. He won't even bother committing the TP. He'll just roll his way away. So at worst, they only lost DJ. So in the end, not too big of a deal here for Fnatic. Smoke up, going to be broken immediately for OB.Neon. Unfortunately, I doubt they find anything out of this.
Yeah, they're still grouped up around bot. Unfortunately, CTM TP'd mid. He has the travels up, but it's going to be half a minute until he can make his way down bot. If they were going to take this fight, you'd want the Reaper's Sight there. Fnatic are already kind of making their way down there. They're ready to collapse in on this clump up from OB.Neon.
It's just a very rough position. Like OB.Neon, they're trying their best to enable this draft, this very aggressive style draft, but Fnatic, they're just having none of it. They're not allowing any of that to occur. And you've got to give props to Fnatic. I mean, they're doing a fantastic job against a team that is known to continuously pursue this aggression until it does pay off. But thus far, within the last game and 12 minutes of this game, none of it's paid off yet. OB.Neon, they just can't get a lead for themselves.
Yeah, and it's going to start to really slow down for OB.Neon. Like this 4-staff build again on Yopaj. If he doesn't find kills or if he doesn't get the saves, he's not going to farm. Like, he went all in on the damage. He really did just max out Rocket Barrage and the homing missile. No value points in the flak. So if he doesn't start finding something for himself, he's not going to escalate as a Gyrocopter. He's going to always lag behind the TA. He's always going to lack damage. He's always going to lack protection. He's going to lack an item lead. And Fnatic's just going to be able to keep building up in their win condition. Like, sure, Raven's kind of slowed down. He's behind CTM's farm by about 200 gold. Not a big deal when your TA is about 900 gold above everyone else on the side of OB.Neon and is still set to escalate. Has the Dragonlance up, almost at the Desolator timing. So, Neon, it feels like because of how they're playing this, they've kind of set a 10-minute timer in themselves. If they don't find the openings they need in 10 minutes, I don't think it's going to get any better in the late game.
No, I mean, I certainly agree with that, John. It really doesn't feel like it's going to get any better as time goes on. And OB.Neon, they've got to find some kind of advantage now. And, you know, you look back at the farm of Chuan. We saw this last game. He's having the freest game of his life. Last game, it was even more difficult because OB.Neon, they were doing a great job of blocking out the camps, but that hasn't been so much the case this game. So you could argue he's getting even more farm this time around. Yes, you could compare him to CTM. I don't think the Necrophos necessarily compares, though, right now to the TA.
No.
It's like,
definitely not.
He's going to get another 4-staff. He could try to kite out Chuan, but where's the damage going to come from is my problem. Bot lane, they're going to try now, but they're already onto Enryu and the fingers out. They blow up the Leshrac. They do at least get death on the Pango, and they might even find another. DJ, he is dropping very low, but the stick charges are there, and they can't finish the job off. Shanks and Yopaj, they have to run. Now the Omni is out as well from Raven, and he will secure the Gyrocopter kill. Towards the left side, Shanks, he almost dropped as well from Fnatic. Traps are going to slow him up. They're going to continue the pursuit. Towards the east, Raven, he's fine. They just can't control the jug. He'll walk away.
Yeah, not a great trade for OB.Neon. They dropped 2 for really just 1 kill, and in the end, they sacrifice Yopaj. So he doesn't get as much out of that as he'd want to. He does have the full 4-staff, and this does enable OB.Neon to group up bot for the push with their Leshrac. So they can find that objective. They're going to be able to melt it down. Fnatic doesn't care. This is not the area of the map where they're really trying to build a farm. It's not the area of the map where Chuan is farming up anyway. They could slow down Raven, but again, he's not the big win condition here.
Yeah. Jabs, he gets spotted there for a second, but they can't really dive him under the tier 2 now as Yopaj, the damage. It's not going to be too high. Still does have that defensive 4-staff, and now there's a big rotation coming in. OB.Neon. They still can't get this, though. Chuan, he backs off at the right time. They could try to go after that mid T1, however. Stun is going to connect. Are they going to go for the dive? Terrorize? No. Going to be cancelled off as now DJ comes in. Enryu, he's just getting bursted down. Even the snowball there from Jabs, and a great chance out as well. It blocks the way. Shanks, he's stuck on the staircase. It won't matter. They won't pursue. But now Death, he does want to keep going back in as Januel. He just gets bursted by Chuan. Yopaj, he force-staffs out, but he'll leave Shanks behind. Let the bodyguard take the hits. And Fnatic, they aren't even breaking a sweat this game too.
Yeah, they're just lining up the counter-aggression, and it comes down to these supports. Like, the Tusk just enables you to turn these fights every single time. OB.Neon are just constantly forced to respond, and when Fnatic can, they just leave Chuan behind the farm. Like, he doesn't even need to join these necessarily. OB.Neon are forced to group up as 5. So none of their cores are farming. Even if they were farming, you're farming on a Necrophos, you're farming on a Lesh. They've got very tight timings. Yopaj, the Force Staff, has been great to save himself. It hasn't really enabled the aggression yet, and we really need to start seeing that come out soon.
I think the value is you can try to force people forward like that, but Chuan, he can just start doing so much damage. They control him up, but to what avail? Maybe the Edict takes him out, but no, it's not even enough damage. Enryu and Shanks both going down, and now Yopaj, he cops the Omni from Raven. It just never ends. Every single attempt they try just ends up working in the favor of Fnatic. And now that tier 1 mid tower, it's just going down for free. Fnatic. I'd hate to repeat myself, John, but not a sweat broken. In fact, they'll go for more now. They've got the Dark Willow. They even found CTM on the Necrophos with the perma-stuns out. They'll take him down. And it's not over, because Januel, he will die towards the south. 5k net worth lead now, and I know you've said it a few times this game, but OB.Neon with this draft, they have their backs against the wall, and it is going to be very hard to push back against Fnatic.
It's nearly impossible. Every single time we've seen OB.Neon clump up as 5, the 5-man of Fnatic is just easier to pull off. They've got greater burst damage with the Lion, with the TA, they've got greater stuns coming out, much more reliable stuns with the Lion and even the Tusk and the follow-up on Rolling Thunder from Death. OB.Neon need to be able to catch someone out, try to get control and get that kill. They catch Chabs.
It's something, right? Like, you commit the Reaper's Sight, but you need a kill going your way. OB.Neon, they're not gonna be picky about what kill they take. They'll just use whatever they can to get whatever kill.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it just has to start flowing. They find one kill, but that opens up the Roshan. They know the sight's down, so the big team fight spell for CTM's gone. And Chuan with the Desolator, it's the same timing last game. As soon as he has it up, Fnatic just goes straight into the Roshan. And OB.Neon, they're out of position. They can't even contest. They don't even know it's happening.
Absolutely not. Meanwhile, DJ just keeping tabs in that dire jungle. Yopaj, he's trying to farm, but again, without the flak cannon, it's just so slow. He's got level 1 flak now, but it does nothing. He couldn't even clear out the 2 camps. And now that T2 top tower, it's going to be free pickings as Death. He's going to try and roll in. Yopaj, he's going to TP out at the exact right time to make it out just in the nick of time. Mid tower, however, a bit of a team fight breaking out. Look at the rotations flying in from Fnatic. Enryu's just getting spun on. Raven's playing Blades right now. Johnny's not even playing Dota.
That he is. He's just constantly spinning everywhere. They smoke up again. They still have Omni Slash here, and Fnatic are gonna.
Oh, this could be a big one. Yeah, they've got Chuan. 4 staff on the homing missile. They'll get the call down as well, but do they have the follow-up damage? There's no refraction. Chuan, he's gonna lose the Aegis. It's only 1 life, and the cavalry's here. A great shard's out. It's going to block the pathing. Now the Earth Spike as well. Bring out the finger. CTM, he'll go into the Ghost Round. There's your finger out. They won't get the kill, but it won't matter. They can still go after the other heroes. And Yopaj, he does get the 4 staff away at least. Januel's not going to be so lucky, though. He'll be left behind. And Chuan will have his way with him. DJ dies. I believe that was to the Bramble Maze. And Jabs, he'll give him the tip.
You gotta let your teammates know when something wrong happens. Still, respawns are short, so OB.Neon's back for the defense.
Can you defend though? Diffusal Blades up from Raven, right onto Enryu. Now the roll's there, onto the Gyrocopter. Yopaj, he is just constantly controlled. I'm not sure what the point of this defense was, John. The tier 2 is already gone, and they're just losing more heroes. Ghost Shroud is there. They're not even going to get Raven with the Reapers. He is okay as CTM. He cannot run away from this Templar as Shanks. He's going to have the invis at least. Jabs, he does connect the dust, and they even get the traps off Raven. He has the spin, and see you later, Shanks. I thought maybe the Vendetta Strike was going to be enough damage to kill off Raven at least, but unfortunately that is not going to be the case.
And with a 9k deficit at 19 minutes in, it's not the worst.
Oh no, Genuel. I mean, he's got the Brambles down. Bedlam's doing a lot of damage. Raven, he's gone too deep, but well, they don't have the physical damage. Even with the Max Diabolic Edict. Just not enough.
No, Jug's a bit too tanky now. He has a lot of armor with all this agi he has. 22 plus 5. Not going to rip through him with the Edict. And again, 10k lead here for Fnatic at 20 minutes in, roughly. It doesn't look bad, or at least it's not completely unplayable. The issue is the heroes OB.Neon has. These heroes needed to be strong 10 minutes ago.
It doesn't end, John. They got the Hex out. He can't get the Ghost Shroud in time, and the Walrus Punch is there from Jabs. Gives him the uppercut to the jaw of CTM. OB.Neon. I don't want to say the draft's impossible to pull off now, John, but I feel like that's how it is.
There are a couple of conditions where they can turn around. High ground defense with maybe the Ags on Shanks. It's just way too far off. Maybe if you get an Ag shard on Enryu as well, you can just keep de-shoving waves on high ground and try to prevent further losses down the line. They haven't taken all the outer towers yet as well, though. Yopaj.
He's going to try and back. Raven's got the Omni Slash, though, and DJ's going to just cut him off. He does have the TPs coming in, however. Still, Chuan, he thought about it. Shards are on target. Raven, he'll go straight for the Omni again with the Spirit Vessel out. Yopaj, he's still alive, but how long is he going to survive? But the answer is not very long. Not very long whatsoever. And now the Side Blades. Chuan. Shanks just gets decimated from 1,000 range away.
Balanced hero. TA.
Yep.
They find the bot tier 1 onto the bot tier 2, and now OB.Neon starting to lose even more space. So Enryu is trying to cut off the creep wave. He does not have a TP, so he's going to sacrifice his body for this.
Death. Enryu, I mean, you've got a TP ASAP, sir. He hasn't got a TP, John. I mean, you pointed this out. I don't know if it's really worth your body, though. I guess he needs to get that done, but it's not... The aggression's not stopping. CTM, he gets trapped in the shards. Raven's gonna back off, though, assuming he did not get caught. They do have Reapers, but now the snowball back in. Terrorize is gonna be there. They're gonna try and at least secure a Juggernaut kill. Reaper Scythe is there. They do get Raven, and they will get Jabs. Jabs, he sends them in too far. And I'm not sure why he's tipping Raven, John. He sent him in.
Yeah, he did drag him in the snowball. So, good punishment coming out from Neon. Maybe if Fnatic kind of catches these initiations wrong, you can get a couple more, although...
Yeah, finger out, Genuel, he just gets bursted. It's a level 2 finger with 3 stacks. Genuel's still level 9 with 960 HP. So that finger, it takes a lot of his HP away. DJ, back in, gets a Hex off. Death gonna go for the Rolling Thunder. CTM, he's a man of business. He'll chase down the support Lion, but there's more TPs coming in to help out, and the Rolling Thunder is still going. In fact, it's a great position now to make the jump in onto this gyrocopter. Yeah, Parch, he's trying to run, but look at the damage. They just burst him down again. OB.Neon, they don't even get that support Lion, as now a Snowball's there. Shanks, he's been left behind. They'll squish the bug.
My blades and my mind are as one.
Chuan is 12-0-12 right now. Been involved in 24 out of 31 kills.
Yep, perfect game for Chuan. OB.Neon, less than stellar game for them so far, 31-7, 12k net worth lead for Fnatic now. We were talking about that timing about 10 minutes ago, and this is where I feel like the draft is just going to taper off. And they've got the full Kaya Sanj on CTM. They've got the Sanj on Yopaj. None of this does anything to Chuan. Like, they have to get really the biggest initiation you could ask for somehow, and they don't have the best initiation. They are still saving up for Shank's Blink. Maybe if the Knicks can line up a good Impale, it can work it out. You can get the follow-up stun from your Lesh, get the Bramble Maze on top, and get the call down on top. The magic damage starts to pile up. I just don't see that happening. Like, they can pick off a couple of heroes alone in a full-blown team fight. It just doesn't match up yet.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
13k net worth lead, just devastating here for OB.Neon. CTM, he's still getting that farm up. Aeon Disc shards slowly on the way for CTM. They're probably not going to have it in time for the next Roshan, which is going to be a little bit upsetting, I'm sure, for OB.Neon as Fnatic. They have such a fast Roshing lineup. They can pretty much go at any time it does respawn, and they might even force high ground. I mean, why not? How are they going to stop you? The answer is they probably can't, John.
Yeah, it's way too quick with the Deso. You even have the spin with the Ag Shard now, so you can get some hits on the tower and still do damage that way. OB.Neon. I don't know if the blink is the play for Shanks. Like, I get that it enables that aggression. Maybe the Ags would take too long. I feel like on the high ground situation, the Ags is a lot more value. And this is a quick Roshan. Half a minute respawn for Fnatic. They're going to spot it out with a trap. OB.Neon, they will smoke up. If they can catch someone out, they can start to stall this game even more. But Fnatic are just staying clumped up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they realize that OB.Neon, they're going to try and make some form of a play to counter out this next Roshan from Fnatic. Both teams going to meet up around that mid lane. Roshan does now respawn.
Radiant are scanning.
Don't believe OB.Neon actually got vision of that, and the trap there from Chuan is definitely going to give the information over to Fnatic. They'll smoke up. No vision to detect that smoke. And so if you're Fnatic, you could just rush in and go for the Roshan, or you could try to force a team fight. It looks like they're still trying to decide what they want to do. Death, smoke broken on Shanks. Meanwhile, to the side, Raven does go for a bit of a spin, get some more information. Chuan's going to roam in, feeling very confident with his ability to not die with that BKB up. They'll take the outpost, and this should make it rather obvious now to OB.Neon that the Roshan has started.
They just can't make it in time. Look at the damage coming out from Fnatic. It just melts fast. With a tag team with all the damage stacked up on Chuan. That's Ags, Cheese, and Aegis now going their way. Free Ag Shard for Chuan. Silence on the traps. OB.Neon are smoked though.
Under vision though. Dust is there. They've got the vision onto CTM. He's going to escape the shards. Jab still going to roam in. Januel has not been scouted. Mid lane terrorized. Not going to get off in time either. Chuan, he's been stunned up. He's quite low on mana as well, but it may not matter as the damage output again is just too high. And now the snowball back in onto CTM. This poor Necrophos has been caught with his pants down. They do at least get DJ, but what does it matter? Everybody else is just getting destroyed across the team fight. DJ, he blinks in again. He gets a nice easy hex off onto Januel. That'll be 4 heroes down now and make it a 5th as Yopaj, he's not going to be spared either. Full team wipe. And would you believe it, John? In case they needed it, Chuan now has an Orb of Destruction on the way.
Are you guys gonna play
Beautiful.
the game?
Yeah. You can't stop this now. The defense that comes out, you don't have the items for it, you don't have the levels for it, you don't have the damage for it. There's just no burst on hand. They gave up in scalability with going this build on Yopaj. He went for Kaya Sanj, 4-staff, Brown Beats. It's not even an amazing timing for those items. He's at 9.3k net worth. Death is above by 3k. The only farm here they have on Neon side is still CTM's Necrophos. So if you can punish someone with a sight, maybe you take one hero out. I don't know if that's enough to really take an advantage away from Fnatic. You get even bigger items up. The Nullifier is completed on Chuan, so even that 4-staff save, it's not going to help you with that Nullifier.
Jump in. They've got the Hex out. Enryu, he's in big, big trouble. And now the shards, Yopaj, he's been trapped out of the base. No buyback on either hero. And once again, Fnatic in this game too, proving to be so damn dominant as Chuan is in with the Nullifier now. CTM, he's going to try and back, but the shards are on target. They'll leave him be though. They'll go after Shanks instead. Raven onto Januel with the Diffusal Blade, just spins on top. Tier 3's gone. Onto the mid-racks they go. And I said this game won. I'll say it again, John. It's not even close.
No. Fnatic's on point. They're just chasing out now.
Yeah, Nullifier out. CTM, he can't escape now. There is no way. Jabs trying to force him into a fountain type there. Jam's being a little bit cheeky. They'll come on to Enryu as well. Buy back CTM. He's going to try and fight back. Death is there. Heals up with the cheese. Chuan, he still holds the Aegis. They're going to try and go after Raven instead. The Reaper Scythe is out. They do get him. But now a 3-man Earth Spike. Maybe Chuan, he might lose his first life, and he does. Perhaps if they can get him a second time, this could be big, but now the Rolling Thunder is in. Jabs with the Warrior's Punch as well. Henry is in trouble again. It'll be a dieback on the Leshrac. They'll keep trying to fight. This will be the last-ditch effort for OB.Neon, but it's not looking great for them as Yopaj has gone to boot. Chuan 16-0-20 now, John. They end it. They've had enough. 17-0-20.
More disagreeable than
Someone tell Chuan to calm down.
Fnatic.
He's going nuts. OB.Neon. They came out with a really different draft. They got that Necrophos last pick for CTM. They tried to play aggressive. They had the Yopaj mid gyrocopter, and that itemized for 4-staff first into Kaya Sanj. It didn't feel like a core. You know, in fact, both cores of Neon, the gyrocopter and the Leshrac, just didn't feel like they were cores at all. The early aggression from Neon was just counteracted by Fnatic's 4-man. With the jug, they were able to play really early with just the spin and the control they had on hand and the damage amplification that the tag team gave them. And they just bought out space for Chuan while all of those engagements were happening. OB.Neon couldn't take the big towers they needed to earlier on. And it just lined up for Fnatic. Almost the same story as game 1, where Chuan just builds up. Neon, their aggression was a lot stronger in this game, and they were aggressive early on. It just never panned out. And I think Neon's going to have to really study what they did wrong here. Maybe look at the draft. I'm not sure what the game plan was with an early 4-staff on the gyro into Kaya Sanj. He had no farming capability. They went all in on this 20-minute timing, and they were never even online even by the 10-minute mark. They didn't feel strong.
Well, John, Fnatic, I mean, they've had a great day thus far. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. They went 0-4. Today, it looks like they want their revenge. They're 2-0 so far. And they are going to be in our next matchup against Army Geniuses. We'll see if they can go undefeated today. So they are looking very clean. OB.Neon, I believe that's their games for today. I don't think they have any more. And they don't. They're going to have a day off now. They'll have 2 more tomorrow, though. So we are going to head to a short... Well, I say short. It is going to be a 20-minute break. But right after that 20-minute break, we're going to be back with Fnatic versus Army Geniuses, game number 1. We'll see you all again very soon.